Welcome, horror fam, to HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm here with my co-host, Duff.
Hey, I'm going to Hollywood.
All right.
No, that's not official. I'm talking out of my ass. I'm sorry.
I thought you planned something you didn't tell me.
No.
And our producer, Nico.
I'm not going to Hollywood, but hey, howdy, hey.
As always, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at HHN365, and you can always leave us a voicemail at 407-906-3405. On today's show, we're back in our second episode of a series of with the Hauntline, focusing on HHN Hollywood, and we of course also have some Orlando news to discuss. So that actually gets us to introducing our guest. Jonathan from the Hauntline is joining us again. How's it going, Jonathan?
Gentlemen, thank you for having me on the show again. I am very excited that Hollywood has officially been announced. We've finally caught up to you guys in Orlando, and things are looking good. Things are looking real good. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's starting to all kind of come together. I'm getting really excited.
Last time we talked with you, I think we were at the spec map that had you at basically an HHN light level event. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So things have changed a bit.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah, lots of things have changed. Well, before we hop into Hollywood, let's crank out some of the Orlando news we have to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we usually leave our guest out for situations like this, but Jonathan, he comes to Orlando and he's coming back this year, so we figured he could join in on this conversation.
Yeah.
So no announcements this week. So that's a fun thing. We're getting used to this whole Thursday announcement train. And that was supposed to happen. Rumors, obviously, this isn't official. Universal did not say that they were supposed to make an announcement and didn't. However, there was a huge DNS server issue. It wasn't just Universal. A lot of companies, corporations were affected by this. And apparently Universal on the Orlando side was one of these. So Thursday's announcement did not make it out. And they rushed out a Beetlejuice shirt, the Sandworm one that we had already seen at like 5 p.m. Like, oh, they need something. Here, put it out.
This is the announcement.
That first of all, that shirt sucks. I'm sorry if you like it. I apologize, but I hate that shirt. It's so gaudy and just I don't. And I'm sorry if you're the artist who designed it. I'm sure a lot of people love it. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, people like it.
Some people like it.
Some people like it.
It's definitely eye-catching.
That's a good term. Let's go with that. It is eye-catching.
I like that.
So a fun thing though is we do. I don't want to say we know. We can guess what these rumors were or what these announcements were supposed to be. Based off a few rumor sources. The main one we'll go off of here is Horror Night Nightmares. Because, they put out the spec maps. They're the shit.
Yeah.
One being Icons captured the house.
Oh,
so,
okay.
That would be exciting to get out right now. More importantly, multi-night tickets, which would include your typical Frequent Fear and Russia Fear. So we're good. Don't worry, guys. No more panic. We're going to get them. It's going to be okay.
Don't get me started on that again, Duff.
No, I'm not. No, we are good this time. It's not an article that we're going to have to edit an hour out of our show because we trashed it too much.
Are you gonna let our listeners in on that?
There was a lot of editing last week. That's all I'll say.
We went a little overboard. We had to scale it back a little.
Hey, we missed out on everything last year, so everyone's a little excited.
Yeah, we're a little touchy. Touchy
Yeah.
is the good word.
And yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of the postponement / cancellation announcement. So it's just been a rough week, and we're having a tough time. So we let it out on that. You'll never hear it, but we did.
Yeah, we scaled it back for. Anyway, what else, stuff?
So there was also some construction going on in the parks. More than you'd expect to see in July, actually. A bunch of scare zone construction going up. The most of it would be found in New York, where you'd get the stage where it typically is at a bus loop. a bunch of other taller structures that now have numbers 1 through 3 or 4 on them, and then also surprising, like these small barrel stacks got rolled out, which you don't usually see those till week of or even night of, depending on what they are. So that was really weird to see come out that early, but they're already gone. Maybe some sort of shoot happened with them. I don't know, but they're gone now.
That was my theory, is that they were filming something, and then they had to pull them out midday. I don't know why they wouldn't just bring those out after the park closed, but it's strange.
Yeah, it was so it's we have to try to describe it, I guess. Red and black is the main theme here. It has this like eye within a gear is like the main logo you see. This is the rumored Seek and Destroy location, which everyone is kind of pointing towards it being Metallica. There are some like lightning bolts that kind of match up with the Metallica like M bolt thing going on.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, sort of. It's not exact, but like it's close enough where you could go, okay, I could see it. We'll see.
It's a Metallica red. That's what it looks like. Remember, like from Kill 'Em All, it's a Metallica red. Okay.
So you're saying there's a chance.
If you squint hard enough, it kind of looks like the Metallica.
I hope it flashed before my eyes. There you go. That's a good one. There we go.
Regardless, there is large scale construction going on in New York right now for the scare zones, and that's very exciting to see, as this happened right before the aforementioned 1-year cancellation anniversary. So things have changed a lot in the past year, and it's very exciting to see something happening. That's not the only place. Lighting fixtures and speakers were also found in Central Park, and then on top of buildings, and then just throughout the park, there's lighting fixtures all over the place. And they're definitely the atmospheric HHN ones.
I'm so stoked for this year, guys. Like, I'm fairly new to Orlando and to your guys' lore and to the celebration that is Horror Nights Orlando, but it's really exciting to get the opportunity to go when they're doing so many like original houses, and kind of building on the lore that's been established throughout the years. So I'm really excited, guys. I'm pretty stoked.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
It might be because of the 1-year absence, but I don't know if I've ever been this hyped for HHN ever. It's definitely because of the absence. Let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
I am so excited, and there's a lot of people. We talk about this all the time. There was this huge jump from like HHN 26 to 28, where a lot of the community started going then. So this is going to be their first time for an anniversary year. Their first time getting to like dig deep into the lore on Orlando's side. So this is just kind of a big year for everybody. And I'm excited to relive some of it and get to go through with people who haven't experienced it, like Nico. You'll finally get to see all the icons we test you about like every other week.
Oh, good. I'm excited.
We might as well talk about this real quick before getting to Hollywood, since you weren't on last week. The rumored legendary Truth House. How do you feel about getting here 6 originals and then also another house tied into the lore? How excited does that make you coming over here, Jonathan?
Oh, incredibly. Again, just it's so funny, man. Like the coasts have been so separate for so long, but now I feel like they're kind of starting to, I don't know, work together a little more, which I'm really excited at the prospect of that too down the line. Like I know that we got the Bride of Frankenstein Lives. I didn't think that was going to happen in Hollywood at all. But the fact that we're kind of tying those together coast to coast is pretty cool. And yeah, just to be able to explore the Orlando lore a little bit more is super, super exciting, because I'm a sucker for storytelling. I'm a sucker for backstories. And again, the just rich lores like the ones that were created in Orlando. So it's going to be cool to be able to experience all these houses and kind of, after watching so many Expedition Haunt and just all the videos on them and reading up on the lore and listening to podcasts like your guys', I feel like I'm familiar enough where I can walk through these houses now and be like, oh, I get that reference.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for Nico too. Maybe he'll catch one or two in there somewhere.
Yeah, I gotta do a deep dive into Sam's work to catch me up on all that.
You do. He's got a couple great videos. Again,
Yeah.
Expedition Theme Park. If anyone out there wants to check that out, some great history videos on HHN.
I hope you make it this year. It's maybe.
That Delta variant
Yeah.
says otherwise. Sorry, British friends.
Okay.
Let's not talk about that. We're happy right now.
Yeah.
Keep it
Yeah.
positive. Keep it positive.
So this is kind of going off on a slight tangent here, but we're kind of leading into Hollywood. So I did want to go to one part. You kind of talked about how in recent years, Orlando and Hollywood have kind of started to work together just a tiny bit more. Not fully. They don't really build anything together or flesh anything out together. But there have been a lot of rumors for a couple years now, and maybe with the current situation becoming more relevant, that Murdy won't be here forever, or in Hollywood forever.
Yeah.
What does the future of Hollywood look like? Are we gonna go more Orlando style, or are they gonna kind of take a deeper dive into IPs at this point?
I'm keeping every finger crossed that we get more original houses, or I guess mazes, because we're talking about Hollywood now. That we get more original concepts here in Hollywood. I know that a lot of that hasn't happened because of the current creative staff, if you will, i.e. Murdy, right? Murdy and Chris Williams. Murdy's vision for the event here in Hollywood was that you experience the movies firsthand. And I think with that, it kind of doesn't leave a lot of room for original concepts. He's done them every now and then. And granted, every time he's done them, they've been fun. But I think maybe to him, it's just not worth the trouble to go through, in creating these kinds of experiences. However, I think it was 2019, Murdy, or maybe 2018. I forgot which one. Murdy had mentioned that Aiello had visited our park and that they were talking about something that definitely made my ears perk up, because I was like, what? Please stay. So I'm hoping that I don't know. Here's the deal. Horror Nights in Orlando has just been such a hit since, the first year that it opened. And I think they have a lot of incredible people there, a lot of incredibly talented storytellers that could come to Hollywood and give our event something fun and original and unique, because at the end of the day, people are going to come to Horror Nights no matter what. I don't think that, I think the popular belief here in Hollywood is that if we go more the original content route, the people will stop coming. I don't think that's the case. And it's kind of proven in 2019, where we had Pandora's Box, we had Holidays in Hell. Those mazes still had long lines. They were still packed. People were still going through them. And I had a great time through both. So I really, really hope that the future of Hollywood includes more original concepts for the mazes. And like I said, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that.
I'm with you. Because it's exciting to go over there, but it just dampens it a bit when I'm going through 4 of the same IPs I already have in Orlando.
Right. And it kind of keeps us stuck in this rut. I mean, this year is kind of very evident of that, right? With the IPs that we have, with Leatherface coming back. IPs like that just keep recurring, which I guess at the end of the day is not necessarily a terrible thing, because, hey, we've got a maze and it's a scary guy. That's great. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, if we can kind of keep the event fresh with original concepts, let's do that, because seeing Leatherface every year for the next couple of years sounds exciting on paper, but it's going to get old pretty fast.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think we talked about this last week a bit, is that we don't have to necessarily be happy about it, but we have to understand why it's happening this year.
Right.
And, it's a tough situation, and we're definitely not the people to say, hey, here's Horror Nights, be happy you have it. But, especially for Hollywood, I mean, kind of, you got to be a little happy that it's even happening at this point.
Yeah, this year.
Totally.
This year.
Yeah. This is the only year that we'll allow it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so now let's actually kind of dive into Hollywood and the announcements that have happened.
Before we get kind of the Hollywood, there is a little bit. So there is a voicemail But I need to preface this voicemail for listeners who haven't listened to last week's show. If you could recall, Duff, there was a bit of a mystery about Nico meeting one of our listeners, Kyle, and Nico was very confused about this meeting, or because he does not remember it. Nico, do you want to go ahead and roll the voicemail?
I haven't listened. I haven't pre-listened to this. So.
Okay, so we have an answer to the mystery. Go ahead and play it, and then.
All right.
Hey guys, Kyle from Most Excellent Adventures. Just giving you that follow-up call that you wanted about meeting Nico. So I do feel really dumb. I got this Nico, you guys Nico, mixed up with another Nico, the one from Lost TV. You guys sound extremely similar. But anyways, I would like to have a meet and greet with the mayor of Sinful Island. And I do encourage those shirts. But anyways, just giving you guys a follow-up call. No crazy questions yet that have come to my mind. But remember, you guys just keep doing what you're doing, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes.
So I believe
you were right, Mike. You were right.
That was my theory, right? That was
impressive, Mike.
Yeah. So
I don't feel like an asshole anymore. Yay!
All right. Well, Kyle, Nico would love to meet you for real.
Hey, don't put words in my mouth.
You're the mayor of Sinful Island, and I am now your official campaign manager. So yes, I can put words in your mouth.
Are you my George Stephanopoulos, or are you my oh fuck?
I'm your Woody Harrelson from from that movie about Sarah Palin. That's who.
Oh, okay.
That's who I am. Yes.
All right, that's a deep cut.
Is the fame getting to your head yet, Nico? You've just been asked for a meet and greet.
I feel like I need a sash and a top hat. That's like mayor, like Sinful Island mayor. I think
I know you already own those. I know you do.
I need to contact like Miss Universal and see where she gets her sashes from, and
so get the same source. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, listeners. Future Us here without Jonathan. He'll be back in a second, but Duff has Horror Night Nightmares figured out our recording schedule, and they're just messing with us at this point.
Oh yeah, they're fucking with us for sure. It's just too common. Common.
And it's not always like the same day. Like we'll record sometimes on a random Wednesday, they'll release on a Thursday. Yeah. It's just like literally every time.
So I give up. This is just how it works. If you ever want to know when they're dropping the next one, just ask us what day we're recording. It's the next day, I promise.
It'll always be the next day.
But yeah, they did drop Spec Maps version 4.0 for Orlando and version 5.0 for Hollywood. So I think we're just going to quickly update you guys on that.
Yeah, we'll do the deep dive and discussion on it on the next episode. I feel like there's actually a lot to discuss. If it's even
relevant, then we'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But if it is relevant, I feel like there's actually kind of some fun. It's a small updates, but we'll get to in a second. But I feel it's kind of meaty. Like I feel like there's a lot to discuss. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Really quick, let's go over what they are, though. So the big one is Shudder is no longer on the map as a scare zone in Orlando. It is now Crypt TV. So keeping with a horror streaming service. I don't know much about Crypt TV. I've seen some of their content, not a lot. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for Nico to find out what that is. Maybe no Googling, Nico. There might be a quiz in the future.
I know it has something to do with Eli Roth. So as long I loved him in Inglourious Basterds, so I'm sure I'll love this.
Yep, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Hope he brings that baseball bat.
Now this was moved over to San Francisco, which pushed the Eddie Zone to Hollywood. So it looks like Eddie's getting a lot more room now to, I don't know, run.
Yeah. Yeah. Get ready to run for those chainsaws.
The other big change, in my opinion at least, is let me say real quick, preface this, it says possibly underneath, but Terror Queen show.
Yeah, they're definitely not 100% sure about this one. They're kind of hedging their bets. They're like,
I think every time we talk about this zone in any kind of deeper format, we always bring up there has to be a stage show of some sort, right?
Right.
There has to.
Right.
Where will it go? I don't know. There's multiple options. But this is the first time it's showing up as a show. I never expected it to show up as a separate show. So I'm wondering if this is an even larger scale than we were thinking.
Yeah, and maybe that's why
shows.
They put it on here, because they're like, oh no, this is like really turning into a show. But again, we'll hold off our deep discussion about it. But and what happened on the other coast?
One tiny more update about Orlando.
Oh, okay.
You know how they always match as things get as they get closer to being revealed, they start to match the logos of houses with what they'll actually look like. Well, the HHN Icons captured logo has been updated. So if you go check that out,
I did notice
probably pretty close to what we're going to see when it's announced, potentially Thursday. We'll see.
We'll see.
But moving over to Hollywood, something we're going to talk about a little bit later on this show. Now, not confirmed, but is on the spec map, and that's Waterworld will house Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers.
Right, which I recall you mentioning that there was a rumor starting to form that this was going to happen on last week's show.
Yeah. So it basically went from a rumor to a more trusted rumor.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Scare Zone's still unknown. Show's still just got Jabberwockies. Everything else is still there, including the Terror Tram. Not much going on their coast either. One change, I guess it's a pretty big one because it changed what the house is. So, I guess that's meaty in some form.
All right. Is that a good until we take a deep dive on next week's episode and get back to the discussion with Jonathan?
I think so. So enjoy this episode, and we may or may not be back with this or new spec map next week.
All right. Well, now we can officially hop in. Yeah. We've officially got the sillies out, and now we can get serious.
So Orlando didn't have announcements, but Hollywood did. The first of those, well, I guess not the first. It was the first. They did delay the art one. Never mind. The Exorcist. You remember how like a week and a half ago, you had the guy on Twitter who was like, I swear I saw it. I saw the facade. It's The Exorcist. I promise. And everyone's like, shut up, you liar. I don't believe you at all. Well,
that's kind of how it went.
Well, all of you were wrong, and he was right, just so you know. The Exorcist has officially been announced and is coming to Hollywood only. Really quick, let me read off what they have, a little tidbit about it. The film that fueled your worst nightmares has returned to Halloween Horror Nights. Enter the most haunting scenes from the film as 12-year-old Reagan is possessed by a demon, possibly the devil himself. It's a battle between the wills of good and evil.
Ooh.
All right. So it's The Exorcist.
Yes, correct. I should probably give him a shout out, but I don't remember what the @ was at. So go back 2 weeks and you'll hear his Twitter account. Like he said, he peeked into Soundstage 29's wide open door, and that is where it's located. The Exorcist is coming to Hollywood. It is official now. How you feeling about that in general, Jonathan?
Heartbroken, mostly because I know this means that we're not getting Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And so that's a real bummer because I was really excited to I always love it when the event shares IPs on both coasts because I love seeing each event's version of the maze / house. So I was really stoked to see what they would do for Beetlejuice here on the West Coast. But I'm really bummed that it's gone. Soundstage 29 would have been the perfect location for that, whether it was that or Hill House. But so now we've lost it, and thankfully I've got Orlando. I've got you guys to give me my Beetlejuice fix. But it's a choice, and it was made.
It is a choice.
Algae Rhythm. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Algae Rhythm only allowed one Beetlejuice house this year from the Warner Brothers serververse.
Yeah. He was too busy watching not the Monstars, the what do they call it? What were they called this time? They were not the
Oh,
monsters.
I didn't watch this one.
You don't need to.
Yeah,
It's fine. Or actually, you can watch The Mask through a very like blurry window, and then you'll basically get the movie.
And Nico has officially made the same joke 2 weeks in a row.
I know, exactly.
To get this back on track, Jonathan, how worried are you that this is going to be kind of a carbon copy of the previous Exorcist house, especially based on how snarky John Murdy was when he was asked about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house being different, and he said, "Time. That is the main difference."
Let me tell you, man, it always cracks me up when Murdy brings on the shade in the Twitter comments when he responds to people. It's so funny because he'll be so like informative and nice, and then other times he's just stone cold, man. I love it. I live for it. I do wholeheartedly believe that both this and Pandora's box will be a complete replica of what we've had in the past, if not just retrofitted to their new space. Because Murdy even mentioned it. The space that the Exorcist was in before, which is the Mummy extended queue, is long and skinny. Soundstage 29 is wide, so they're going to have to kind of change, I guess, the connecting hallways to the scenes, mostly in terms of flow. I want them to add stuff. I would also love for them to increase the scale of the facade now that it's in a soundstage, now that they have a little bit of more room to play with. However, I am not holding my breath for either.
Yeah, that's probably good.
I would say your intuition's probably correct, because he had another snarky comment about this one. When asked if it would be the same as 2016's, he said, and I quote, "No, it's in stage 29 this time."
I can just imagine him like typing this shit out a couple of times and then finding the right answer.
Right.
And then just like having a little smirk after he hits the reply.
No. And you guys can say whatever you want about Murdy, but this man's fucking hilarious.
He is.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I would say that probably means it's going to be the same house retrofitted to a new location, it sounds like, from that
Definitely.
tweet.
Yeah.
Which, listen, I think they did a pretty great job with the maze itself. Like, it's a hard movie to do.
Yeah, it is.
It's very limited in terms of what scenes you can recreate.
Right.
So I think for the most part, what they did, in 2016 was pretty solid. So I understand from like a scary movie perspective why they brought The Exorcist back. But again, that it would be a fun opportunity to kind of toy with the layout and with the rooms and with the effects. But I don't think, especially given, just kind of the current circumstance, that they're really going to take many liberties with it. But we'll see. Maybe one or two things will change.
Well, on the bright side, I didn't experience it in 2016 in Hollywood, so it'll be new for me.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Outside of what I've saw on YouTube, but that's different.
Yeah.
That's different.
And also on the bright side, I wasn't like filming mazes in 2016, so I'm very excited to get some awesome shots of this this
there you
year.
go.
Hey,
You got a second chance. Look at that.
There you go.
So tying it back to how we were talking about this being a decision, I believe you called it,
Yes.
to drop Beetlejuice and now have The Exorcist. Murdy did say, when asked about it, that he wasn't working when that decision was made, so he must have still been furloughed. So he literally came back to work, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna get back to that Beetlejuice house." And they're like, "Actually." Now, Jonathan, I'm sure you've heard the rumor of why that happened.
Yeah, man. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I want to refer to you guys right now. Is there anything else that has popped up about the rumor? Is there any other information that we have? Because from what I've heard, it seems just kind of bare bones, and I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. I would say the only thing that kind of makes it make sense is that Orlando literally opened the house for the 2 days,
And at
so
the time,
it would be open, and that was the rumor. So now
Right.
that has
yeah.
and we were like, that
At the
sounds a
time,
little
it did not
funky.
make sense
That sounds
at all.
funky. But
Yeah, that
now
was-
Hollywood just lost Beetlejuice, and it's like, oh, you know
Yeah.
what? That might have been
Yeah.
more than a rumor.
I want this to be true so badly.
Yeah, I'm on the record that I did not believe that shit back in Winter Orlando. Everything about this whole Beetlejuice thing was just so weird, like so crazy that it opened for a couple of days. But now there might be some legs to it, just of how crazy that was. Like, so confusing that they did that. Like.
Totally. And listen, I'm no businessman here. I don't have a degree in any of that, but it just seems weird for them to get upset about something like that when whether you open it for a couple of days, whether you sell merch or not here in Hollywood, you're still getting the IP out there. It should be like, oh, well, thanks for giving us money anyways. Why fight? Why be upset about something like that? Just give us the juice, man.
Hollywood
Yeah,
contracts
I know.
are so fucking
I
weird,
know.
though.
Yeah, they are.
That's how we get the Fantastic Four movie. That's how we get the Warren Beatty special that aired on TCM at 2 a.m. in the morning. We just get a lot of weird shit from Hollywood contracts that just a bunch of lawyers trying to one up each other. So
yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them that this is fucking true.
My guess to that would be they would activate that clause because they can then try to renegotiate for a higher deal, which obviously right now Hollywood's in no position to pay more for anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And it's interesting it being a Warner Brothers property too. I know that here on the West Coast, Warner Brothers is planning to do their Halloween event next year.
Sure.
So I'm sure that probably has something to do something in there. All I want to say is whoever screwed up the deal, whoever wrote this little clause, I hate you. I just wanted the juice in Hollywood, man. Come on.
So if the rumors are to be believed, that would be your two biggest properties of the year being botched by contract breaches. So I'm sorry.
It's all right.
And for anyone who wants to blame Murdy, he was literally furloughed when this happened. So
Yeah, you can't blame him.
he was probably just as shocked as you when he showed up to work the first day back. All right. I think anything else about The Exorcist? I just like the house, I don't know there's much more we can do with this. So
nice. Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
All right. So the next one, it was leaked for a little bit, then pulled away, then kind of leaked again, and then they waited several hours for some reason to announce it. But the Curse of Pandora's Box will be returning. This was at HHN 2019 in Hollywood. What's your initial reaction to that, Jonathan?
It makes sense. I think maybe it was us when we talked, or I said it at some point earlier on in 2020, where I was like, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if we got like a couple of repeats, Pandora's or Holidays in Hell being one of them.
I remember you saying that. Yeah, you did say that when you talked to us last.
Yeah, there we go. Because it just, like, from a fiscal standpoint, it makes the most sense. You've already built the maze. You've designed it. It's not tied to any IP. It's literally an original creation from Hollywood. You don't have to do any crazy contract loopholes, blah, 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 lawyers. You just build the damn thing again. So it made perfect sense. I kind of was expecting to get a repeat of one of those mazes. In fact, I was kind of holding out for both of them kind of making a comeback. But, yeah, it makes perfect sense. And listen, I, for one, actually really enjoyed The Curse of Pandora's Box. I thought it was a fun maze. I thought it, harkened back to the early days of haunts where, things were very bare bones and simple. It was just about, getting in and getting scared. I love the story that they kind of created behind it. Murdy wrote a whole fucking poem. He got all poetic about it. You know what I mean? So, kudos to him and to the creative team. I had a blast with the maze. And again, I think if there's one that was going to come back, this one definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think there's two reasons this would make a ton of sense this year. That like you said, fiscal reasons. Originals typically quite a bit cheaper than IPs.
Right.
Mhm.
Repeating a house, also cheaper than building a new one. It has everything going for it. From what I saw on the POV, it looked like a really fun original. It sounds like most people really enjoyed it. There are a few people who hated it apparently, but whatever. They're probably just one IPs. They're those people, I'm sure. But it looked really solid. I'm excited to get to experience it this year, having not gone in 2019. So yeah, I'm excited for it, I guess.
Yeah, and like I said, in 2019, it constantly had a line. People were constantly going through it. So I know it has like a couple of haters, and on Twitter, I've seen a couple of people complain about it coming back and not being like a sequel or what have you. But even there, I feel like we may be pleasantly surprised. I mean, I know they have to kind of retrofit that maze into a new spot. So maybe with a couple of changes in the route will come, a couple of scenic changes. That's kind of the fun part about that maze too, is that it's not really specifically tied to a certain, IP or imagery at all. So they could really swap things out very easily. All you have to do is walk into the Universal Prop House and grab a can of neon spray paint, and there you go. You've got a new scene.
So you kind of brought up sort of what it is. Let me say what their tidbit was. I'm sure Nico's interested, so I'll read it off real quick. An ancient horror has returned to prey on those foolish enough to tempt the fates with their curiosity and greed. Enter Pandora's curiosity shop, where her infamous box lies. Once it's opened, all manner of evil will be unleashed. Greek mythology is about to become your monstrous reality.
Nice.
Oh, that sounds cool.
I will say it's a bit coy on what the house actually is, but that's fine. You can literally go watch a POV of what it is if you really want to know.
Yeah, it's out there.
But yeah, I think it kind of leaves a little to wonder, which I enjoy when they do that. Unlike what Orlando has been doing and posting literal pictures of all their houses this year, except the past couple.
Right?
It's like, hey, you want to see our facade and some really big sets and ruin it all? Here you go.
Yeah, that Hill House announcement was shocking. As much information that we got about that was pretty crazy. We don't normally get all that.
Hey guys, we got this badass facade that's been sitting here for like a year. You want to see it?
That's basically what it was. I'm sure it's they're all antsy to just get it
They're
out
just
there.
so excited.
And they all but went scene by scene too about what the story was going to be. Like, basically, like
if they ruin any of the originals for me, I'm going to be so pissed. So pissed. I don't want to see any more facades.
Yeah,
I'm
there you
good.
go. Yeah, I feel like they'll probably keep those pretty tight-lived from here on out. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of your guys' icon houses, and I know that those are kind of holy and sacred.
Yes.
I mean, we've kind of had rumors and leaks of what will happen, but seeing it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I don't mind knowing what the story is, but like seeing it, that's too far. Universal, relax. Stop doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know why you decided this year it had to happen, but it doesn't. I promise you.
I take those rumors usually, unless they come from like an official source like this, I take them with a huge grain of salt as well, because a lot of the times they don't come to be true. So it's a little different when you have like the official blog, basically layout what how Hill House is going to flow.
Yeah, they're basically like, here's the elevation, guys. Check it out.
Yeah,
here's the floor plan.
It's going to start slow and then go to this ultimate like ending scene. And, yeah.
Wow, you just described the series. Congrats. Also, Murdy chimed in about this house and asked if there would be any changes. I don't have it pulled up. Or actually, do I have it pulled up? Okay, I don't have it pulled up, but he had it. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. No, I don't. I lied. Anyway.
A bait and switch.
Right? Do you,
oh, no, I do have it.
Oh, you do? Okay. Okay.
This is all staying in.
He was asked if there would be any differences in Curse of Pandora's box, and he said, "This is becoming a recurring question, isn't it?"
The people are catching on. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He did later answer it, and he said there would be minor tweaks to adjust to the location.
Okay. So what's our
Um,
total? What's our running total on repeats, like carbon copy repeats?
Carbon copy.
Well, not carbon copy, but you know what I mean. Close to, yeah.
So it
close
sounds
to.
like we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Exorcist, and Pandora's Box. So 3
Okay,
out
so-
of the 5 currently sound like pretty much copies of their past representations.
Yeah, which again, I kind of had a feeling. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be the positive one to say like I'm just happy we're having the event.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's fine. Throw Michael Myers at me. Throw Leatherface. Throw Freddy. Whoever you want. Just bring it on. Give me the fog. Give me a blinky cup. I'm happy.
I mean, you know, I won't fully. I'm not someone who's going to preach just be happy it's coming. I think we are consumers, and you should always voice your opinion. But I personally will be happy that there's an event on both coasts, regardless of what it entails. There are certain things I would like, and if they don't come, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Duff, to an extent. That being said, I think this year's a little bit different. I think if they have to pull out some houses from before to kind of give, you know, a few more houses that they just really don't have the time to put together if they didn't otherwise, or the money or the budget or whatever. I think more houses are better than, you know, the rumored 3 or 4, or the just having the HHN light, all these different things. I think I would rather have more houses than some of the other rumors that came out earlier on this year about Hollywood.
I think we said the same thing in different ways, but that's okay.
I think we did.
Listen, if in 2022 we see any of these mazes again, it's over. I'm done.
That's different. That's
Hey, you've had enough time. We're tired of this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny though is that in Hollywood, this has kind of been a recurring theme. I mean, in fact, the first 2 years of Horror Nights, when they had their resurgence and when Murdy took over in 2007 and 2006, those were like repeat years. Those were basically mirror years of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not new. It's not new in Hollywood to have
Right.
repeat mazes, repeat themes. In fact, I'm predicting it right now. I have a feeling that pretty much all the scare zones in Hollywood that we saw in 2019 will make a resurgence here in this year. Or you know, maybe a past scare zone. It's not. I don't think it's going to be anything new. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
I like that people act like, oh my God, repeat mazes in Hollywood. It's been done before, y'all. You know, we've
Yeah.
had it done before. And if it's going to happen any year, it's going to be this year.
And I'd like to point out that it has happened at Orlando as well. We're not,
Okay.
you know, it
Yeah,
doesn't
okay.
just happen.
I mean, it's happened in here like literally twice.
I mean,
but-
it
but-
still has happened.
This is the point I want to bring up. How you guys, there are people who complain, but for the most part are kind of like, I get it. Yeah, that's great. In Orlando, we're bringing back the same property we used 4 years ago in a completely different house, and people are bitching.
Right.
We're
Like
very
Texas-
spoiled over here.
Hey, we had Texas Chainsaw Massacre like 5 years ago. I don't know if we can bring back the same property. By the way, give me Halloween Kills. Thanks.
Right. Yeah, we're
Yeah, it's very very different. Again, we've only had like actual repeat mazes like twice, and people still complain about stuff like this. It's like the big draw for me for HHN Orlando over other haunts, outside of some other great things, is that there aren't like repeat. Like, you know, a lot of haunts have the same exact houses or most of the same houses every single year, where that does not happen here. I can handle them bringing back the same property. It's not a big deal. And if Hollywood has to do it this year, just, you know, for financial reasons, just for a few houses, that's fine. It's all right. I get it. We'll live.
Yeah, listen, it could be worse. It could be Six Flags Fright Fest where they've been the same since like,
right.
you know, 8 years ago. So it could be worse, folks. It could be worse.
I mean, Duff, you just bought your express or your unlimited ticket to Hallowscream Tampa and Orlando, and Hallowscream Tampa has had the same houses for like the last 10 years. I mean, they bring in like a new one every so often.
I believe this year they're getting 2 new ones.
Oh,
actually, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Fancy. Moving
hey,
on up.
Orlando will be all new ones
Yeah.
by default, but
Right.
all new ones.
I don't know. They could recycle some from Tampa.
You just steal old Tampa one. Hey,
I'm
could you
really afraid that's what's going to
Could you
happen.
send that down I-4? Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well,
And
they've announced 2, and they are both fresh. So, hey, I'll take
there
it.
you go.
There we go.
And I personally, I'm going to get some hate for this, but I personally would not be mad if, say, Graveyard Games came back another year because I wanted to live in that house. So
Yeah. I don't think Duff would be very, very
No.
sad if that
So
happened.
here's the thing. I would not want it to come back because I am so big on not wanting a repeat. And if I was in your shoes, I would definitely be selfish and want to see it. So I get it. That's fine. That's fine.
in fact, just ship it over here. Let's get it in Hollywood. Let's do that.
Yeah, you can have it. We're done with it. You can have it. It's fine.
Thank you.
Sid and Nancy aren't doing anything anymore. So something I actually forgot to put on the outline, and before I forget, I want to bring up, there was another leak on Hollywood's website. It was having a lot of issues, which we'll get more into on the next little segment here. Where they have all the houses listed at the bottom, they also had the Terror Tram listed. So that sounds like 100% confirmation if it was on the website. So, hey, I think last time we talked about this, it was put onto the spec map, and we were all shocked.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, how are you feeling about it, like, actually happening?
I think it's a great choice given the year that we're having. I am kind of predicting that it might be related to the Purge, in terms of like what they're going to do it based on, just because they've done it before. They have a bunch of props and costumes for that, and the Forever Purge just came out. So I for one, I'm pretty stoked about it again because it's one more thing to eat crowds, to get people away from the mazes for a little bit. I'm curious to know if they're going to do anything, say that we have it this year, which is it's looking very likely. I'm curious what they're going to do behind the Bates Motel, which is where the Grinch set used to be, which actually occupied quite a big footprint. Right now, they have like picture cars on the back lot in that area, but it is a pretty sizable area. I can definitely see them doing like a gauntlet scare zone outdoor maze kind of a deal there. And it would be a very welcome addition to the Terror Tram, which has had pretty much the same path for the past couple of years. In fact, since it's opened up, it's kind of been the same path. So I'm excited to see what they'll do with it. I kind of missed it in 2019, kind of didn't, just because we got a couple of additional mazes in its place. However, since this year it's a little reduced in terms of our overall maze count, I think it would be a welcome addition to the lineup.
And I believe it literally has to change routes this year because of the location of some mazes, right?
Right, yeah. So essentially what should happen here, actually I really don't know what they're going to do with that, because the new location, the two, like we talked about in the last podcast, right? The two new mazes are in a very interesting spot because they're technically on the route that the tram travels, and having people walk that path as the tram travels, to me, doesn't sound like a very bright idea. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about what can happen on the Terror Tram.
Yeah, no, that's
So,
a touchy subject.
Yes, yeah.
Is it touchy? I've heard people make jokes about it, unfortunately. I don't think it's too touchy for a lot of people.
Well,
We won't go there. I'm just saying. Other people will go there. Do you remember the story, Nico? I'm not going to talk about it, but I think
we can talk. I think I know what y'all are talking
Okay,
about. Yeah.
just
We
wanna
don't have
make
to
sure-
bring it up here.
just want to make sure you're up to speed. I wasn't going to say it on the show.
Yeah, I think I know what y'all are.
Gotcha.
getting at.
Anyways, so great. Terror Tram's back. I think that entices Mike finally to come to the event a little bit. It might not
Yes.
happen, but
Yeah, I'm a big Terror Tram, and I've never done it, but the idea of it. I'm a big Terror Tram enthusiast. It sounds fun. Sounds different than anything we have over here. I would really like to see it.
the big draw isn't necessarily how good it could be, but how unique it is if you're coming
Right.
from Orlando.
Right.
I'm a big haunted hayride kind of guy, so this seems like just a bigger version of that. So
With a lot more
I'm
walking.
excited for that. Yeah. Oh wait, the Terror Tram. Of course, there's a lot of. Wait, what do you mean more walking?
There's more walking than like your typical hayride.
Yeah.
So wait, you don't get on at the tram and then like the
No, you
loop
get
is-
on you get on there.
Okay.
And then you get off, and you get on. And
What?
you get off.
What?
Yeah.
What? All right, this sounds bad.
I've been explained to me like 5 times of what the Terror Tram is, and I still have no idea. Like I
And
have
that's-
no clue. It doesn't make any
That's the
sense to me.
fun. Because
Yes.
I was doing it, right? And the whole time I was like, this isn't great, but I kind of love it at the same time. It felt like a slightly lazy scare zone that you drive through occasionally,
And
but
you
somehow
get
it's
on the
super
tram?
enjoyable. Well, sometimes you're sitting on it, sometimes you're walking. It depends.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
That description of the Terror Tram is pretty spot on. Just know that you start and you end on the actual tram itself. Everything in the middle is on foot.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right,
Yeah. Okay.
all
So you're
right.
basically taken to like an area.
Correct. Yeah. You're taken to an area. On the way, you're shown kind of like the backstory on the screens of like the Terror Tram theme, which they've done some pretty good videos on that. I will say they do tend to get me pumped up. So yeah, you start on the Terror Tram, you end on the Terror Tram, and then the actual experience itself is all walking. So it would be like a hayride if you got off the hayride in the middle and then got back on it.
You
Okay.
know those tours on the buses that take you from brewery to brewery? Just change that with scare zones.
There you go.
Okay. There you go. I that makes perfect sense now.
Now, that's an
I'm
idea
happy I
right
could
there.
relate.
Do you get a free flight at each scare zone?
Well, it does trigger your fight or flight.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
dead jokes.
But you all have to drink out of the same cup. Because it's a West Coast haunt.
No, that's a very deep,
That's
cut.
an inside joke that we have not.
not shared yet. That episode
Not
will
shared.
release someday.
That is
Thanks, Dark Horizons. We apprecited the night.
I think at this point we can release it whenever because that
Yeah.
company does not exist anymore.
Hey!
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm upset. I did want to do Dark Harbor one day, but
Yeah.
not looking.
Oh man, listen, if you guys ever want to talk about that whole situation, let me know because I've got thoughts and opinions and tons of research that I've been doing. So.
Oh,
Oh
oh,
boy.
When we do our Dark Horizon episode, we'll bring you on and we'll talk about
Please
the whole
do.
company.
absolutely.
Yes.
That night is still vivid in my mind.
it is so- It is.
It
That
will
was
be
a
very
night.
fresh.
I would
do hope-
love to hear about your guys' experience.
I
would
hope
love
Dark
to
Harbor was
hear it.
better. I'll say that much.
It was an experience. And I will just allude to Duff, I believe, was sexually harassed. By-
Jeez.
yes, by his character.
Oh man.
Yes.
All right.
Hey,
Oh.
but we got into the special bar because of it, didn't we?
We did.
Save it. Save it.
Oh, sorry. My
We
bad.
said too much.
All right. Hey, tickets were released for Hollywood. Hey. No, seriously, that's not a joke. Tickets did get released in Hollywood. So they got something over us. Look at that.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I think our tickets were supposed to come out the same day, but things don't always work out. So yeah, I think you guys kind of released your entire ticket catalog, and then you pulled some back.
I don't know what's happening, man. Like, after so many years of doing these events, you'd think they'd have a better grip on how to go about all this, but they like to keep it exciting. They like to keep it, to keep us guessing.
All right. So first, let's say what they have. So they do have your single night general admission ticket, which ranges from $69 and $99. You can grab an express for a shit ton of money. To be exact, $159 to $259. There's also an express unlimited for $199 to $299. There is, if you're traveling from out of town, I think a really good deal. An after 2 p.m. ticket, which gets you into the park for daily operation starting after 2. And then
Oh,
all
that's
the
a
way
great
through
deal.
Horror Nights for $99 to $139. After 2 p.m., Express is $189 to $299. And then what we were alluding to earlier was that multi-night tickets were actually originally announced, including frequent fear passes, and then pulled. So I think our best guess is probably that they did that because Orlando was supposed to announce them as well, and it never happened. And they were probably like, well, people are going to riot if Hollywood gets that announcement and we don't.
Yeah.
So let's not do that yet.
So
Interesting.
you're thinking maybe next Thursday it'll happen?
I think right now the guess is that next Thursday, whatever announcement they had planned will carry on, but we will also get our tickets and then icons captured as well.
Oh, that's
Which
gonna be
hopefully
another
means-
hole in my wallet.
Oh, I know.
Right.
Which hopefully means Hollywood as well gets their multi-night tickets announced. Because I just don't see any other reason they would post their multi-nights and then pull them after Orlando couldn't announce it.
That's true.
And Jonathan, I'm sure you were ready to purchase frequent fear pass in Hollywood, and then they kind of ruined that for you.
Listen, I'm ready for both coasts. We did it for. Here's a little insider tip for anybody from Hollywood that's listening. You're gonna want to do multiple nights of Horror Nights Orlando. You're going to want to, and we saved a lot of money in 2019 by just buying the frequent fear pass, and it worked out really, really well. So I'm ready to pull the trigger on both coasts frequent fear passes as soon as they come out. My wallet is not ready, but I am. So I'm anticipating it very eagerly.
Yeah, no, he's correct. If you're doing Orlando, try to go multiple nights. Otherwise, even with Express, it's going to be a kind of rushed experience. So,
Yeah, there's just so much to do. Like I was actually really impressed in 2018. We didn't do Express. We only did one night, and we only missed out, I think, on 2 houses. I don't know how the hell we did it, but we did it, and I'm pretty proud of that, of what we did. But in 2019, we did a couple of nights because I was like, listen, I want to be able to take my time, and especially with your guys' scenic design out there and the way that you create your mazes, your original stories, you need time to really go through and experience them as many times as possible. And 2019 really worked out.
Awesome. It sounds like this year's going to work out better for you.
Yeah,
So
man.
you're basically doing a full week of HHN. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's becoming a tradition now where we are doing a vacation just for Horror Nights. And it's great. I love it.
that's a dream. I mean, we don't have to, but
Oh.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I mean, one night with Express will do for Hollywood. I'm just,
It's true. It's true. It's true.
May for like Singapore though. A couple nights of Singapore would be fun.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyways, back to the tickets. I'm sorry, Hollywood, on the Hollywood episode. So I know you were able to grab some tickets and you had some issues. What happened there?
Well, once the tickets were released, I mean, the website would just not load at all. You would go, first of all, I would go and hit on the main page, the link to go to the tickets, and it would say, oh, it's timed out. It's tried too many times. You can't even do it. And this was around like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., whenever they first rolled out. I wasn't very late to the game, and it was super impacted. And so I tried a couple of more times. I tried later on in the afternoon, and it was still not doing it. So I was really worried that I was like, oh my God, does this mean that they're like, people are buying these up and they're going to be sold out by the time that I get through to them? And mind you, I was on vacation in Las Vegas during this time too. So, I was like trying to do a couple of things and also buy tickets. But at the end of the day, at the end of the night, I was able to score my opening night tickets. I got the Express Pass for that night, which I highly recommend if you're going opening night or opening weekend at all, actually, Friday, Saturday. So I was able to nab those. Express Unlimited, I really wanted that, but man, it's sold out. And I'm really surprised because it's kind of pricey, but it's sold out for that day. And I was bummed because, again, I really wanted that.
I mean, you'll get to upgrade to your frequent fear soon, and that'll help. That'll make
Definitely.
it feel real good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Can I just say real quick that this After 2 Express is a great deal.
Fantastic deal.
Yeah, you get so correct me if I'm wrong, you're getting express passes for just the regular theme park starting after 2, and then you get just regular express passes for the HHN as well for $189. So basically for $30 additional you're getting After 2 Express at the theme park.
It does seem like that, right?
Yeah. That's great.
Honestly,
Go
sorry, go ahead.
No, go. You good?
I was gonna say, honestly, if even for you guys that are visiting from Orlando, anybody that's visiting out of state, that is a phenomenal deal, because for the most part, the park, all the rides are open at night for horror nights. A few of the things that are not are like Secret Life of Pets, which is actually a really, really fun dark ride. And then all of Wizarding World is closed down. So if you're visiting from out of state, get the After 2 p.m. Express, hit up Wizarding World. Although I guess if if you're coming from Orlando, you don't really have to, but the option's there. And then get on Secret Life of Pets, hang out, and then you got Express the rest of the night, so you can get on all the other rides and all the mazes without having to worry about being stuck in long lines. It's actually a really great deal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think I'll definitely take advantage of this because I do want to ride Slop, but I don't want to buy a day ticket. So beautiful.
There you go.
I mean, I've been on everything else there. I do have to ride Jurassic World still, but I believe they'll be open during HHN. So
they will, yeah. And oh man, let me tell you, after not going to theme parks so long, that was one of the first rides that I hit when I went back to Hollywood. And Chef's Kiss, beautiful.
I'm a no spoilers guy, and I am very excited.
This
is also my favorite.
It's worth it.
Jurassic Park is my favorite movie, so this franchise has a special place in my heart. So getting to experience this, I'm so excited.
Yeah, you let me tell you, your mind is going to be blown, and that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm very excited. Way more so than for HHN. I don't. We'll see. I'll let you know after. I'll give you that. Trip report. All right, I'm tired of being mean to Hollywood. Let's go somewhere else with this. So to wrap this up, there is one more thing I wanted to kind of get everyone's thoughts about. So what we have, you could take it from speculation, from what's announced. What are you most excited about for this year in Hollywood? And please don't use the basic answer of HHN having it. It's great. Yes, I know we're all excited, but what specifically are you most excited to or most looking forward to?
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll go first just because we've kind of already touched on it. The return of the Terror Tram, like that it would be the reason if I were to finagle my way into going over there, that would be the real push to get over there. It would be the return of the Terror Tram. I thought it was gone for good, and to see it back from the dead, and I get another shot of potentially getting to see it, that would be my draw.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Mike with that. I really want to do Terror Tram as well, especially if it's going to have a Purge theme, because that just really sounds silly.
Yeah. Now,
it sounds silly. It sounds so silly.
It just sounds silly.
No, if we're getting Toxic Tunnel 4, no, sign me up, baby.
How many X's can we fit in a Toxic Tunnel? That's my question.
It's a pretty big wall. It can fit a pretty long banner, I'll tell you what.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go next, and we could save the Hollywood guy to go last here. Jurassic World at night.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. That'd be messed up. I got to say Pandora's Box, just because from what I saw through the POVs, it looked really solid. And getting to experience like a top-notch original from Hollywood, I think would be a pretty cool experience, because I haven't really had that yet, so it'd be nice.
Well, yeah, Mike took what I was going to say, and Nico did too. The Terror Tram's return, I'm pretty excited about it, because again, with the new kind of areas that they have, I feel like they could do some really fun stuff with it. My biggest complaint about the Terror Tram was always that there wasn't enough like maze portions of it. However, it does seem like this year there is more opportunity for portions of the walk to be maze-ish. I'm very excited for that. And I'm also really, especially after kind of, like we touched on before, seeing all of Orlando's Hill House, I'm very excited to see what Hollywood is going to do with that property. Because, I mentioned it on the last podcast, we got Crimson Peak one year. It was a beautiful maze. I know that Hollywood has what it takes to make Hill House as gorgeous as can be. So I'm very excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah, why did they bring back that one? Crimson Peak? I would like to see that one.
I would like to see it again too, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna wager those sets are in a landfill somewhere at this point.
I think most people have forgotten that movie existed. So,
did people ever know in the first place? I feel like I'm being so rude. I'm sorry.
I know we're very snarky tonight, and it's not our normal. Yeah, we're not normally this snarky.
I think this is us every time we talk about Hollywood.
Yeah.
Listen, it's all right.
I feel like we always give noogies to like the little brother. And
Right.
like, all right, there you go.
Hollywood, we love you.
we're-
We just, we gotta rib you sometimes.
I don't
or
think
every
we're
time.
bad as some Orlando people, though.
No,
I think
we don't say Hollywood is a terrible event. So,
Yeah.
we just kind of make fun of it a little because Orlando is the better event in mine and most people's opinions. And
Agreed.
we're going to take shots, and that's fine. It is still a very fun haunt to go to in Hollywood. I know we joke, but I don't want to deter anyone from going to the event in general. Maybe this isn't the best year if this is your first time ever going, to be honest. But if you're an HHN fan, I'd say make it to Hollywood. Try it out. For some people, it's more their cup of tea than Orlando is.
I have to say that I think we poke fun at the silly things of Orlando just as much as we poke fun of the silly things at Hollywood. They're just more things that are silly about Hollywood. I think there's more things to poke at, and I think we tend to poke at both for better or for worse. So we have a jovial nature when we talk about our favorite thing.
Definitely the big brother, little brother illusion is great. That's a perfect way to kind of describe what's going on here, because Hollywood is very much in its infancy, especially compared to Orlando, and it's still very much trying to find its way, especially after so many years of kind of starting and stopping. So, it makes sense, and I always welcome some Hollywood, a little poke here and there at the event, because there's stuff to poke at. So,
well, we're happy we bring you on because I'm sure other people would not be so happy about it.
I was about to say that, Jonathan. You're very good natured about it, and that's why we keep calling it back. I think there are a few people who would not be as good natured about the way we talk about their event who cover Hollywood. So.
Well, I'm always happy to come back and let you guys poke at it. Don't worry.
I mean, we got at least 2 more episodes in this Hollywood series just for this season, so we'll hear you a couple more times.
I love it.
All right. Well, Duff, does that basically cover everything that you had on the table to go over?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, we did it. Jonathan, do you have anything for your content comment-wise? Anything special you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, actually. So I know we kind of talked a lot about it on this episode, but I did have I made a short little documentary video on the history of the Terror Tram in Hollywood. Part 1 is out now. I'm working on Part 2 and Part 3 because there's a lot to cover. Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, definitely do.
Maybe after I watch it, I'll finally understand what the Terror Tram actually is.
Listen,
Maybe I finally will understand.
It's impossible to understand until you go. You got to do it.
And I will say this much: you Orlando peeps will get a kick out of this episode because the first couple of years of the Terror Tram, after Murdy took over, featured Jack the Clown and the director. So really weird West Coast appearances that never happened again. But yeah, check it out. And then aside from that, I'm just going to be talking in the following weeks about Not Scary Farm, which has been doing a lot of awesome announcements, and then also a lot of Horror Night stuff because there's a lot to talk about there as well.
And while you're on here, I did want to say I did watch episode 1. Loved it. And knowing that there's 3 episodes, I figured it was probably just 2. Ecstatic. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, man.
All right. Well, once again, Jonathan from the Hauntline, you can find him on YouTube, and he also has a podcast as well, and Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff too, right, Jonathan?
Absolutely, yeah. Twitter and Instagram at the Hauntline, YouTube.com/the Hauntline, and then the Hauntline SoCal haunts and events on anywhere you get your podcast.
Awesome. As always, you can find us at Twitter and Instagram at HHN365, and you can leave us a voicemail at 407-906-3405. If you have any mysteries that you would like Nico to solve, go ahead and leave us a voicemail, and I will try to predict that mystery, and let's see if I can keep up my my record of Nancy Drewing why Nico is so confused.
Now, just make sure it's Nico with a K and not a C.
Yeah, you're more of a Hardy boy than a Nancy.
I do like I'm a Hardy boy. Okay. Yeah. I'm more of a boxcar children.
Yeah,
that's what I would say. Yeah, I'm definitely a boxcar child.
You live in a boxcar behind a rich man's house.
Yeah. My flashlight is always ready to go. And, all right. Well, it's never an HHN 365 episode that we just kind of lose it at the end before we leave. So I'm glad we could keep that up. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you in the streets.